Okay, so if I just get a picture or just a blank sheet of paper, as it were. So if we, have you got the free or have you got
I've got Pro.
Pro. So let's say, for example, we've got that image, and let's see if we can take away the background, because a lot of the time you have images like that where you haven't got a background on it.
And I think that's the problem that I have, is that when I do this, it removes any shadows, which then it loses that 3D. Yeah. It sort of looks as if it's floating in space.
So that one's not done a very good job, because I think the colours are too similar. So you need something that's sort of a bit more of a higher contrast. Let's see if this one works better. Thinking about it. So that one is slightly better. Mm-hmm. So this is by no means going to be like the best thing ever, and I think that's where, even for me, like, I find it annoying that you can't have shadows on objects. You can have shadows on text. So what I would do is copy that one, and then I would flip it, and then position it backward, and then I would make it transparent. So what you could also do is, if you're wanting it to have a bit of a surface as well, so you could have, let's get rid of that one. If you were using, so you could use a combination of the two, but it's just about knocking it back. Now, something else that you can do that I sort of see when people do false or pretend reflections is that it fades off. So at the moment it's just a direct thing. So what you can do to kind of cheat that is, if you go to elements and go to gradient, and then you want to go down, there's one which fades out to nothing. So it's like a color to nothing. And it's just a case of scrolling down until we see it. So it's this one here. So to my knowledge, this has always been purple, and it looks like it goes to the grey, but it's actually transparent. Can you see how it goes to nothing?
Yeah.
So if I what I do is I make it white, if you want it to match the kind of background. And then what we can do, because it's got quite an extreme fade out, what you might need to do is make a copy of them and just make sure that they're lined up. So you would need to, you can see they're not aligned, so we would align them top or bottom, doesn't really matter. You could do it a bit more carefully, of like making sure there isn't an overlap. So we got 3 there. If we group them, then when you put them over, can you see it starts to fade it out to nothing? It's fading it out to the white. So it gives it a bit more of a realistic look. Mm-hmm. Now, if you wanted to do the same, but on this one, you'd probably need to sort of have it across the full width of that image. And you'd want to use the color that's used in here to sort of fake it. So it would be a bit of repetition. So you can see here it's trying to pick up the colors there. So I would just use that, and I would make both of those that color, because it goes, I'm not quite sure why it's got the 2 colors there. It has different effects, but if you do it like that, you can see you've softened that now. Mm-hmm. So it's not perfect. There is sort of some, like, I think it looks better on that one where you've still got the background. But certainly it gives you a bit more.
I think it's a great Sheets way, actually, because for the sort of thing that I do, it makes a huge difference to how appealing the image is. And if it doesn't have a reflection of some sort, it just looks like it's floating. And also the shadow part of it as well, it adds depth to it so that it starts, looks 3D. I think this is a great way to do it.
So, I mean, like, as a designer with sort of all the design software, I would obviously be able to do that in a different way. So you could have it more overlapping a bit if you needed it to. You can also, another thing you can do is, because it's an image, because at the moment that image is picking up the gold because it's gold rings, but you wanted it to be more muted, what you could do is selecting on, so this is where you sort of want to make sure you're selecting on the right thing. So that's a reflection. You can adjust it and make it like get rid of the saturation, so it's grey or somewhere in the middle. And again, it's all these little touches that will make it more believable. So if I move that out of the way and do the same here, and then just sort of somewhere there, and then move that back up a bit. And so you can like overlay stuff. So you could do the same thing of, if you wanted this shadow to be more under, but now you've got the thing of it being overlapped, there's no reason why you can't be a bit sneaky and just copy that and then paste it on top and do the background remover. And then it will still show the one underneath. So you'd need to sort of make sure to align it up. But it now means that shadow is more underneath. And so that's the way of kind of going, rather than being like, oh, well, it has to touch, it's only going to be there. That's the way you can kind of cheat it. You can just, there's no reason why you can't copy that. It's something that I do quite a lot with. So it's something that I've done recently. So in here, this is my new Facebook video that I've created. Now, I've done a sort of use that gradient tool to kind of soften out the background, and I've just copied myself and overlapped it. So there's two of me there. Which if I go like that, can you see that's because there's that navy is sort of going across, so it's starting to colorize that, but I wanted me to really pop out, so I just copied it and like overlaid it.